stop training your abs like this. Now the reason why is these muscles right here, the rectus abdominis, all those muscles do is flex and allow the spine to extend like this. And when we do repetitive motion, flexing and extending the spine, what happens is we can wear down these little discs here inside the spine, causing compression on the nerves and ending up with things like lower back pain. Another thing to think about when we're doing things like crunches and sit-ups is what is the posture that we're rehearsing? When you finish a crunch or a sit-up, most of the time you're like this. And that means we're tightening and strengthening the muscles that bring us into a bad posture position. So instead of doing this, try these movements that I'm gonna show you, starting from beginner all the way to advanced. And at the end, I'm gonna tell you how to work through each one of these levels and make sure that you know you're doing them right and that you have enough endurance in each level before you go to the next one, all right? So the very first one is perfect for beginners, and it's teaching your body how to properly activate your core. You're gonna do this on your back, but feel free to do this on a couch or in bed if that feels easier for you to get in a couch or bed rather than lay down on the floor. From there, what we're gonna do is lie down on our back, and we're gonna focus on a couple things for this first progression. First, we're gonna push the lower back into the ground. So we wanna be able to try to stick our fingers under our lower back and not put our hand under there. This is gonna be the most important thing for you to focus on as we go through this progression. If you're able to put your fingers underneath your lower back and you feel your lower back come off the ground, then guess what? You went up in levels too fast. You have to be able to maintain pushing the lower back into the ground the entire time on each one of these movements before you level up to the next movement, okay? So that's number one, that's the most important. Number two, in the first couple levels, I want you to practice this movement that we call the elevator, because this is how we properly activate the core, which will help you push the lower back into the ground, protect your lower back and hips, and strengthen all the muscles of your core, not just your rectus abdominis, but all the muscles that run horizontally around your core, which really help us become a lot stronger and more resilient in our daily life. So for that, these are the people right here, and we take this and we put our fingers in between our belly button and our hip, all right? So if I got my belly button here, my hip right here, I'm gonna put this person standing right in between there and right in between there. And I'm gonna push down, I'm gonna relax my head, and I'm gonna let myself find these kind of fleshy parts right here. Then what I'm gonna do is take a big belly breath in and push my belly out, all right? Now, if you can't seem to push these fingers out, my favorite way to teach this is to cough and hold the end of the cough, okay? That's the goal. At first, you may exhale and lose that tension and need to inhale again to regain that. And that's okay in the lower levels because we're not gonna be putting a lot of pressure on your lower back. But the goal would be, can you maintain that lift the entire time as you hold each one of these movements? If you can, then you're ready to go to the next level. So remember, if you can put your fingers underneath your back, then you're not ready to go to the next level. You gotta keep that lower back glued to the ground the whole time. And if you feel like your core goes soft like this, instead of staying rigid and creating a lot of tension like this, then you're not ready to go to the next level, okay? So for level one, what we're gonna do is keep those fingers there. We're gonna lift both knees towards our chest. And all we're gonna do is hold this position. And you don't have to have your head up either. You can let your head relax back like this, but really focus on lower back pushing the ground and keeping the fingers pushed out using the strength of your deep core muscles, all right? Now, if you can do this movement for 60 full seconds perfectly, then you can go to the next variation, which is bringing your legs forward like this and holding them perpendicular to the ground and at a 90-degree angle, still keeping the fingers pushed into the belly button here, all right? Again, we wanna do this for 60 seconds, lower back pushing the ground, fingers pushed out here, and master this before going to the next level. For the next level, we're gonna extend our legs and we're gonna bring it to a 45-degree position, this time palms toward the sky, shoulders away from ears, all right? If you can do this perfectly while maintaining that tight core, lower back pushing the ground, the next step is gonna be bringing our legs all the way down like this and holding this position for 60 seconds, pushing the lower back on the ground and maintaining that core lift, okay? From there, once you're able to do that level, then we can start to move the hands because it's gonna make it significantly harder. So we start with our palms toward the sky, hands by our hips in the previous level, and then what we're gonna do is bring our arms to the outside and hold for 60 seconds like this. And then we're gonna bring our arms overhead with our thumbs pointed backwards and hold for 60 seconds like this. And slowly, what we're gonna do is work through each one of those levels. So here's how we're gonna accomplish this and give you a full framework on how to build a super strong core, all right? You're gonna start with the first level, where we're just pushing the fingers out, pushing the lower back in the ground, and tucking our knees towards our chest. For the first week, every single day, do this movement for just 10 seconds. You heard me right, just 10 seconds. So we're not trying to do anything other than that. Practice it for 10 seconds. For the next week, you do it for 20 seconds. The next week, you do it for 30 seconds. The next week, you do it for 40 seconds. And the next week, you do it for 60 seconds. So that's gonna be 6 weeks, and then you go up to the next level. And I don't care if you're already strong and your core is already strong. Sometimes it's really good to go all the way back to the beginning and start to rework building a strong foundation. Because sometimes we're not able to make progress in the future because we haven't built a strong foundation in the present. So even if you already have a strong core, going back to that first level and slowly working your way through it can be really helpful for you because you're gonna be focusing on perfect form and you'll be able to do things like push your lower back and contract your deep core muscles more effectively, which will help you build that strength and endurance for the upper levels as you go through them. Now, once you go to the next level of movement, you're gonna repeat the same process, starting with 10 seconds, then 20, then 30, then 40, then 50, then 60. And you're gonna work your way through all of those levels in that same way, which can take you several months to get there. But if you do this, you'll never be spending more than 1 minute a day working on strengthening your core. And you'll be doing it progressively, you'll be doing it slowly, and you'll be doing it using a movement that actually strengthens all the muscles of your core and it really helps you become a much stronger person so you can do the things you want to do in your daily life without your workouts causing aches, pains, and injuries, which happens with things like crunches and sit-ups. All right, so give this a shot and I promise your core will be strong and your body will feel so good because of it. Oh, and by the way, if you want more routines that have several different levels for every single movement, that's what we do at WeShape. We create personalized workout plans focused on teaching people how to go from beginner levels to intermediate to advanced levels, and along the way, gain strength, flexibility, balance, and coordination. And if you want to try out WeShape for free, all you got to do is download the app by clicking the link below.